Welcome to Buckets Play-In Edition. My name is Matt Moore. I'm the senior NBA writer for the Action Network. Today's show is brought to you by BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks. Glad to be with you. The NBA regular season is over. The playoffs are around the corner, but to get there, we got to go through the play-in tournament. We will break down today Tuesday's games, which are both in the Western Conference because the NBA apparently just wanted all of the ratings on one night and stuck poor Chicago Bulls fans with a 9:30 tip, 8:30 tip on Wednesday night. These games are on Tuesday. We're gonna break down Lakers, Pelicans, Warriors, Kings, and to do that, I've got Jay Money. Jay Money is money on Twitter, on YouTube, in the Action Network app. Check out his shows, giving out picks daily. He's on Green Dot Daily. He's on our live shows. He's all over the place. Jay, how you feeling about the playoffs as we get closer now?
Man, I can't wait. Hopefully, it's a really great playoffs. I'm glad the regular season is over with. We know there's not going to be many players sitting out at the last minute. The motivation isn't going to be sketchy. We know that it's balls to the wall time. So this is my time of the year, and I believe that I'm ready.
I'm always a fan of watching Jay's transformation over the year as he goes from like the start of the season being like, okay, yeah, just gotta figure out some stuff, and then like he thrives in the middle of the season, and then watching his slow descent with the rest of us into madness because nobody will be honest in their injury reports, and some teams are just like, nah, we don't feel like it tonight, and then all of a sudden the playoffs get here, and it's like we're back, baby. It's great to have Jay on. Let's go ahead and not waste any more time. Jay, what's your best bet for the play-in Tuesday slate?
I'm on the Warriors here on the money line, minus 130. I take it all the way up to minus 150.
All right. I am on the Los Angeles Lakers +1 on the money line -107. And I'm on the Golden State Warriors -2.5. We'll break down both of those games. So let's go ahead and get into this with the Warriors. Let's start with your pick. Give me the cap on why you like Golden State to beat the Kings.
Yeah, and I'm specifically taking the money line here. It's not that I'm scared of the spread, but their last three games have been decided by 1 point here. So I am taking the Warriors in this one. They're 25 and 15 straight up on the road. They have been road warriors this year, pun intended. 27 and 14 against the spread on the road as well. That's number one in the NBA. So I'm not afraid of them going into Sacramento and beating the Kings in this one. We know that the Kings have some key injuries in this one, mainly guys like Malik Monk, who they usually use him to close in these type of games, and I really think they're going to miss him in this particular game. Warriors also come in here 8-2 straight up in their last 10 games as well. 7-1 straight up on the road, 8-2 straight up last 10 on the road as well. This is their first matchup versus the Kings with Trace Jackson Davis at the center as well. They've been playing a lot better defense. Like, it's Kerr kind of figures something out. Are we going to start TJD at the 5, Draymond Green at the 4, have Wiggins as the defensive stopper? Clay is starting to come back, starting to hit his shots, and we know Curry is going to be Curry here as well, man. So I just want to take the money line here because the last three games have been close. I hope that this one isn't close, but I just feel like, especially when it opened up at like minus 120, got up to about minus 130. I believe it's like minus 135 now. I'd still take that. I just want to ask the Warriors to win in this game. Obviously, it's win or go home. I still think they have an opportunity to make some outside noise, man, in this play-in tournament. This is still talking about one of the GOATs here and Steph Curry here. So give me the Warriors here, minus 130 on the money line, and I'll live with the results regardless of what happens.
All right, I'm gonna hit you with the Matt Mitchell rule. Since 2013, teams that are favored when they win the game outright, they cover 81% of the time in playoff environments. So just check this out. Since the start of last season, so it's like the modern Kings iteration and this Warriors version that we've seen over the last two seasons. The Warriors are 9-6 straight up versus the Kings. That was surprising to me because I was like, oh no, the Warriors, like Kings have like played the Warriors. Nope, 9-6. Warrior, and that counts obviously that Game 7 win in the playoffs last year. 9-6, but they're 7-8 against the spread. But what's really interesting about this to me is that when the Warriors win the game, they are 5-4 ATS. So basically, in their losses, they never cover. In their wins, they cover slightly more than they lose on against the spread here. You mentioned the Trace Jackson Davis lineup. You had me look that up before we came on the air. Here are the numbers for it. So this season with the big four of Curry, Thompson, Green, and Wiggins, along with Kuminga, they have a 116 offense, 98 defense, plus 18. That's good. When you sub out Kuminga for Trace Jackson Davis with the big four, it goes to 118 offense, 2 points better, 89.8, 9 points better, an absolutely insane defensive rating. And they are 28.3 in those lineup minutes. Now, they are 6 and 7 in those games. This was one of the issues last year with the lineup data with Golden State, where their lineups were awesome with the key players involved when they had all their guys, but they still wouldn't win the game. Like, the problem has been Kerr can find lineups that absolutely smash, but the other lineups that they don't use then all get rocked. And so, like, that's like an interesting thing to kind of keep an eye on here. And that might honestly present you with an opportunity for some live betting if you're watching this game and you're like, they had Trace Jackson Davis in. They absolutely got off to a great start. They have a big lead. Okay, all the other lineups start to struggle quite a bit, including the big four with Chris Paul minus 7.9. Like, that's a crazy number. But they got the big four with Chris Paul and they're minus 7.9, especially when a lot of Chris Paul's numbers this year with the bench units were very good. How about this one? The big four with Pajemski, right? Pajemski earned his way into a starting spot from a lot of the year, has played heavy minutes. They're 10-7, but they're minus 20.7 in net rating in those minutes. Like, this is one of the infuriating things about the Warriors is that they're winning. They lose the games where their good lineups play, and they win the games where their bad lineups play. So it's a little bit maddening. My cap on this one is honestly more about, there's two big factors here for me with Warriors and Kings. The biggest one is the injuries. So I thought everyone kind of overreacted to the Kevin Huerter and Malik Monk news. Like, I kind of want to fade that sentiment because I'm like, okay, but like, Kevin Huerter's a shooter, but doesn't do a lot else. And like, Malik's an incredible scorer, doesn't do a lot else. The problem is that when I started looking at how does Golden State perform, or how the Kings perform rather, without those guys on the court versus the Warriors in particular, Kevin Huerter has the best on-court net rating of any player with over 50 minutes played this season versus the Dubs. They are plus 5.4 in Huerter's minutes. They are minus 9.5 without Huerter versus the Warriors this season. With Malik Monk on the floor, they're minus 0.9 with him on the court. So they lose their minutes with him, but they lose them worse at minus 1.3. So the difference between the minutes with Huerter and without, or especially stark, and the minutes without Monk are worse than the minutes with him. Meanwhile, here's the other one. Domantas Sabonis, man. I love Domantas's game. He's a lot of fun to watch. I love Domantas. He had an incredible season. He might get all NBA this year. They were minus 3.3 in his minutes this season versus the Dubs, plus 1 without him. He's going to play more in this game because you play your best players. Domantas got absolutely smashed in his minutes last year in that playoff series versus the Dubs. Golden State knows how to take advantage of him. So for me, Jay, like, that's a big factor in this. Is I just don't think that they can. I do not think that the Kings can win the Domantas Sabonis minutes. And if I think Domas is going to play 40 minutes, that does not leave them enough margin for them to be able, like, they're going to have to win the other 8 minutes by like 15 points. That's really hard to do.
He might even play 44 minutes here. I mean, we've already heard Mike Brown say that they're going to lean on Fox and Sabonis even more. They don't really have a backup center that they trust a ton. Sabonis isn't the greatest defender. As good as he is on offense, he's not the greatest defender. You can get to the rack every single time versus the Kings and put him in the pick and roll as well. So, and if he gets into foul trouble, they're also screwed. So that's the whole thing. They need Sabonis on the floor, but defensively, it's going to be so bad for them. I think the Warriors' offense here absolutely eats in this game.
This is a very serious question. I'm not joking when I ask you this question. If Draymond Green gets ejected in this game, how are you going to react?
I'll be pissed, but I still think they have a chance to win. I like that we've seen what we've seen from Kuminga. They could possibly even throw Looney in there. Obviously, he's like a slower player, but I really like the second unit for the Warriors when they can run CP3, Kuminga, Pods out there. They have a lot of interchangeable players. They even got guys like Saric who they can throw in there for just one game. I think it'll do that. If we talk about a playoff series, it'd be a lot different. But just for one game, like, please just hold your shit together, Draymond. Please, like, you just got, it's win or go home. Come on, man.
The bar is so low. Don't get ejected in a must-win game. That's the bar, Dre.
I wish we could bet on it. I wish we
I
could bet
know,
on
me
it if he
too. I really want to bet on Tex and ejections for Draymond. This line opened with Warriors -1. It's up to 2.5 as we record this on Monday afternoon around 2 o'clock Eastern. 91% of the bets right now are coming in on the Warriors, and in our pro system over in the Action Network app, we're tracking sharp action on Golden State. So it's not just public, it's sharp money too coming in on Golden State. A lot of confidence that the Warriors are going to win this game. Makes me a little bit nervous when I see a 91% number on the early bets, but it's early. We'll see what this gets to as we get closer to tip off. By the way, a couple things, just a couple of notes for you. We're going to have a live show on Tuesday that you guys are going to want to check out. It's going to be nothing but bet. It's awesome. We got a really great format for it. We're going to be giving out picks. You can catch that on Tuesday before the play-in tournament games. We'll be going live at 6 Eastern. So 6 Eastern at youtube.com/the Action Network. Check that out. On Wednesday, we have Action Island. That one's going to be at 5 Eastern. So at 5 Eastern on Wednesday, you can check out youtube.com/the Action Network. I'm going to have an inflatable unicorn that I'll be wearing. So make sure I'm just luring you in with getting to see me in with a unicorn on me. All right. Let's get to the other game. Jay does not have a pick on this one. I have a bet on this one. We'll get his lean. The Los Angeles Lakers opened at +1.5. There was a 2 in the market that I grabbed. So our system's missing one. This opened 2. I grabbed the 2. It immediately moved down to 1. It's still sitting at 1. And the reason it's still at 1, 51% of the bets are on the Lakers. 86% of the early money, including sharp action, coming in on the New Orleans Pelicans. Jay, what's your lean for Lakers Pelicans?
I do lean to the Pelicans here, Matt. Now, mostly because I do think that the Lakers are the better team, but this is a one-off game here, and anybody can win in this game. And this is the one that I'd be a little bit worried where I feel like a lot of people might be on the Lakers in this one, but I feel like this is a lot more even matchup than the Warriors and Kings as well. I just don't think the Kings are going to be able to keep up with the Warriors. But this one, I'm not going to lie, I could see it going either way. But the main reason why I do lean to the Pelicans here, Matt, like if the Lakers win this game, like they're gonna get swept by the Nuggets once again. Like seriously. Now I'm not gonna say that they're like even having in their mind that they'd like to lose on purpose to dodge the Nuggets, but I don't think like if they win this game, they don't have anything versus the Nuggets. I believe they've lost like 10 straight games versus the Nuggets here. So it's like, oh, okay, win this game and then go face up against Denver, and then you're gonna get embarrassed again. So and I think the Pelicans just had a really bad game that came out very sluggish in the game the other day. Like that was the game, that was the Lakers game. Now you got AD, first name Anthony, last name Glass. Now he's acting like his back is acting up on him, which I have a back injury as well. So I know how they can just be like, he could say he's good to go, he could possibly leave during the middle of the game. It could really change everything. But I think Zion has a lot better game. I think Brandon Ingram probably doesn't have a leash on him this game. This is somewhat of like a win or go home as well. So I do lean to the Pelicans in this game, man. I must say, if I had to bet it, I'd be looking towards the Pelicans in this one. I did think the under was even a better spot. It was at like 228.5. It's dropped down to 224 now. A lot of the value is kind of going out of under, but I think this is going to be a really defensive game, and I do think the Pelicans probably walk out here with the win, but it's not enough for me to bet.
The bet slips, by the way, as we were talking, this updated on the Action Network on the pro subscription. It's now 59% of the bets are coming in on the Pels. So the Pels are getting hit here. That's got to be on Davis news. Like that's got to be like the assumption that Davis might not play in this game. I think he plays. I think he's played through a lot this season, and I kind of think the AD is going to try and tough it out. And like that's a credit to him for he's played through more stuff this season than he has in years past, and he's had to, but he's played through that stuff. They don't have anything for AD, and that's my cap on this game. Is he was a monster on Sunday. I think he'll be a monster again. The Pelicans keep wanting to play small. They're going to keep going and playing small versus them. That's going to be a problem. Larry Nance can't contain him. He will continue to cook and be able to score efficiently. So I continue to believe the Lakers have a physicality and a strength that the Pelicans simply cannot match up with. And look, I think the Pelicans are a team that's like, if you dig into their numbers, it's like, oh, this is really impressive. And if you look at their roster, you're like, they have so many guys that I really like, and like, you know, all these wings, and they've got so much depth, and Jose Alvarado. And then it just like kind of comes down to their superstars are not prepared to hit first the way that LeBron is. And AD is comfortable when he's facing up against smaller dudes. Look, Jonas Valanciunas wasn't any better on Sunday, but he played 7 minutes in this game. They went to Larry Nance for 30 minutes in this game, and they won those minutes. They were +2, but I have a very small confidence in them being able to hold that, especially because Davis was plus 15. So Davis is going to smash those small ball units. The Pels don't want to go big, and I understand why, because the spacing gets messed up with Zion and JV. One of their core issues is that their four best players, CJ, Zion, BI, and JV, not in that order. Herb might be their fourth best, honestly, but with JV, they can't play their five best guys together. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't work. The Lakers, on the other hand, have been great since they started playing Rui Hachimura in the starting unit. This lineup with D'Lo, Reeves, Rui, LeBron, and AD is phenomenal, both in net rating in terms of winning percentage. And the Pels are going to have to show it to me. Now, if you're listening to this and you're like, what about AD? Sure. You have the luxury. You don't have to give out a pick on this show. You don't have to bet this right now. This number is not going to go anywhere crazy. And we have the Matt Mitchell rule. If you think the Lakers are going to win, even if this number were to go back the other way, you don't need to get it now. It's fine at 3. This is going to be under 2 possessions. Free throws, let's say it's a close game. If you still think the Lakers are going to win, Lakers hit free throws, they'll cover whatever this closing number is. Anyway, this isn't going to get 4.5. You're not going to get there. So you have time to wait on this. Wait, see where AD is at. If AD is out, I'm not going to like this play as much. I don't know if I'm going to want the Pelicans, but I will want them. Obviously, I want the Lakers less if AD is out. So just go ahead and wait on that. You got anything else on that, Jay?
Yeah, no, if AD's out, you definitely don't want the Lakers here. I'm sorry. He's their defensive anchor. He's one of the main matchups. I'll tell you what, if I'm the coach, and I might have to get into coaching one day, man, because I really do see some of these games a different way, but they might have to try to put Herb Jones or Najee Marshall at the 5, man. I know what they've been doing with this Larry Nance and stuff, but I think Najee Marshall and Herb Jones might give them a little bit more upside at going at the small ball 5. They're only 1 inch shorter. Both of those guys are 6'7". Larry Nance Jr. is 6'8". So, and I really do believe that Herb Jones is one of those type of guys that can guard 1 through 5. Now, obviously, AD would eat, but if AD's not 100% in this game, I just feel like I know that they've had Hachimura doing well. I know LeBron's been doing crazy things, but I just feel like AD is really like the anchor of their defense. And when he gets going offensively, that's when the Lakers are unstoppable. Like they can have Austin Reeves, Hachimura, LeBron doing all these things, even D'Angelo Russell. They need AD to be that top tier Anthony Davis on both sides of the floor to reach their full potential. Without that, I don't think they have a chance in this game. So I would definitely see what's up with AD. And I feel like even if he's hampered and not 100% here, paired that with them maybe not wanting to face the Nuggets, I don't want any part of the Lakers in this game.
Man, ducking a play-in tournament game.
Have you ever thought about that, man? Because we both know the
yeah.
Nuggets absolutely own them. Like they have, if you get swept in the conference finals, then what do you think is going to happen in the first round of a series? Like the Nuggets definitely not going out the first round, not to the Lakers. The Wolves match up well with the Nuggets. The Mavs match up well. Maybe even the Suns match up well with the Nuggets. But it's definitely, for whatever reason, I don't know why, the Lakers have nothing for them. They have nothing for them.
I talked about about this whole dilemma on Twitter. I will tell you, I'm a little bit in a little different spot on terms of Nuggets, Lakers. I have a strong inclination that we may have gone too far in that, given how close these games have been like in the playoffs and in the regular season. The Lakers have not been blown out by Denver. They just basically keep losing clutch time. Now you can be like, yeah, because they're just always going to slam the door on them. Maybe. I am. We'll talk about if we get there, if we get that series. Brandon and I will do series previews on Friday night, or I guess we'll have that one earlier. We'll have that one Thursday. But I am not 100. I am not as like, oh no, yeah, the Nuggets are gonna crack them. I am more skeptical, but I understand, like, based off of what's happened and the win-loss record, Jay's absolutely right. The Lakers have just gotten their asses handed to them by the Nuggets. Everyone's kind of like, this is a stupid argument. Brandon said it was a stupid argument. I kind of disagree. The reason is, if you're the Lakers and you have LeBron and you have AD, you're not like, are you like, we want a conference finals appearance so we can feel good? Or are you like, no, like I want to win the title. Like I want to win the title. If you are seriously like, look, so we can beat anybody in the West, but we need somebody else to handle Denver. And we definitely would prefer it if it was a situation where Denver was missing a starter. Because Denver is, as I've said a million times on various shows, 7-11 this season versus teams over 500. when they're without one of the starters. It changes everything. So if the Lakers were to lose this, get OKC, who they have smashed, I think it would probably be tougher. Like I would go back to probably the other way then and fade sentiment there. But if they get past the Thunder, because the Thunder don't have bigs, they get Clippers, who the Lakers have been awesome against this year, and Dallas. That would be a close series if it's Dallas. Like that would be an all-time awesome LeBron Luka second round series. You get past that, we'll see what shape the Nuggets are in. I I just don't understand if you're like championship or bust. Why does it matter? Like what is making the playoffs that much better than going out in the first round? I think it entirely depends on how the Lakers feel about that matchup, more than anything else. And I do think it's an interesting question. I want to ask you about this though, because so this is what's weird. All right. The bets and sharp money's coming in on the Pelicans, which I kind of mentioned, like, hey, maybe this is based off of AD and the back injury. But here's the thing, Jay, if AD is going to be out, which I don't think there's no indication he's going to be out, just something to watch with the back. We'll keep an eye on it. But if they're betting it based off of, hey, AD's not 100%, why is the money moving towards the total? Why is this total down 4 points? If AD's out, Lakers got to go small. They don't have another center. They're going to play more offensive centric. That allows Pelicans to run. Pelicans are going to be running. Like, do you see what I'm saying? Where it doesn't make any sense for me. If this was moving Pelicans and the over, that would make sense to me. But it's moving Pelicans and the under. Why do you think that is?
Well, we all know that AD is going to probably try and tough it out. I mean, you make a really good point. If AD is out, I don't want the under in this game, but I really do think that the Pelicans will have a lot better defensive showing. Like this is still a top tier defensive team. I really think they came out sluggish in that last game and gave up 124 points. LeBron was going crazy, but I really feel like there was the first game back at the house after a really successful 4-game road trip. So I mean, it was like a letdown spot. The Pelicans have had letdowns in this spot all year coming back home from a road trip, and their defense just wasn't there. They've obviously been relying more on their offense and making threes. CJ McCollum, Trey Murphy, they've been going crazy, but BI came back in there and messed things up as well. When you bring a star player back in there and he's starting, it's going to throw everything off. Defensively, he's not in shape. It's going to throw their offense off. So with this second game back, I still really trust the Pelicans defense. Whether AD is out there or not, I'm trusting the Pelicans here to really come and lock down. And I think they'll probably hold the Lakers less than 115, maybe to a less than 110 points. Remember, this is the playoff game. It's not, even though that last game was somewhat like a play-in game because they were trying to depending on like the spot or whatever or the seating, but I still feel like this is the one right here, right? This is the playoff game. This is the one where you're going to see defense intensity at an absolute high in this one, and I really trust the way this numbers win. When it gets steamed down 4 points, no matter what's going on with AD, I really think that the Pelicans defense is the main reason why this game is going to go under, whether AD is out or not. And if AD is not 100%, there's a real chance the Lakers may not even be in 1 through 8 when this is all said and done.
Whew. All
It
right, we'll
sounds
see how it works
crazy.
out.
Sounds
By the way,
crazy, but they
I
do
did
go
want to know
under.
because I gave the splits on our Action Network Pro report. I want to go ahead and make this note because I think it's an important one. The Pels have got this flip back, by the way. They're now 42% of the tickets, but 76% of the money. So big money's coming in. Sharp money, by the way, we're tracking on Pelican spread. Money line. We don't have any sharp action on it, but that's what's interesting. 54% of the tickets on LA, 80% of the money on LA money line. So like the way to read this is it's Matt Mitchell rule, right? The Pelicans betters are betting spread. Lakers betters are betting money line because they're going to win the game outright. And that makes sense, right? Like why would you bet Lakers +1 versus Lakers money line? So like that's just like an important distinction to kind of keep in terms of that context. If you're curious about the money line on Warriors, it's 66% of the tickets, 86% of the money on Golden State money line in alignment with Jay's bet. All right. Jay's got the Warriors on Tuesday night. I've got the Warriors and I've got the Lakers. I will probably play Lakers over Lakers Pels over again as I did on Sunday. I'm going to probably go back to that, but you can find out when I do nothing but bet. Brandon Anderson's going to be with us. Make sure to check that out on Tuesday at 6 Eastern. Make sure to tune in for that. We'll have Action Island 5 Eastern on Wednesday. I will have more details for you on our 4-5 season series preview that will be up tomorrow with Brandon Anderson. We're going to be doing Buckets Live. We had record numbers for Buckets Live on Sunday. It was amazing. We're going to do some more of those this week. I will give you more details on those, so you can check those out. If you don't want to miss a show, go to youtube.com/The Action Network. Turn on notifications. Find out when we're going live with all these things. You're going to get great information across all of the sports, Green Dot Daily, all sorts of cool stuff. Go to youtube.com/The Action Network. Smash that like button while you're there. Give us those 5-star reviews on Apple Podcasts as well. I'd love to see us go up during the playoffs. My thanks to Jay Money for joining me. My thanks to David Payne, our producer, for helping us out on the audio side. Hutton Jackson, the video crew, for putting this up on youtube.com/The Action Network. We'll be back tomorrow. 4-5 series preview with Clippers, Mavericks, Magic, Cavs to kick off our NBA playoff series preview. We'll see you then. Till next time, let's get buckets.